All right, the program still this morning on ITV. I told you also that we're going to be looking at the midterm ministerial performance. Yesterday, there was actually a retreat by the presidency to bring the ministers to bear and also kind of charge them. As a matter of fact, we understand that we have just about 19 months and about 2 weeks to the end of the second term of this present administration. And of course, the president has charged the ministers. They should ensure that they double effort to make sure that they bring this administration's target to bear. Now, gentlemen, let's look at the performance of these ministers. We have them across various ministries in the country. Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Budgeting and all that. How do we begin to react to their performance so far? I'll start with Barrister Adam Salih.
Well, Rex ipsa loquitur, facts speak for themselves. Let's take the matter of lights, energy. Once upon a time, 3 or 4 portfolios were given to one person, Raji Babatunde Fashola, because he was a miracle worker governor in Lagos. They passed 4 ministries for him. When people protested after the first tenure, they reduced it to 3. But where are we? The light is still topsy-turvy, no continuous lights. Health, many of our hospitals are still consulting rooms. They are not equipped. The education, the citadel of learning, tertiary institution, they are always on strike. And if you hear the result in WAEC, so over half percentage don't have English and mathematics. So I would say that the ministers, they have performed below expectation. And a rejig is a sine qua non. It's normally when you have failed, let's give some other people a chance. So I support the president trying to rejig his cabinet, with the people remembering that when you go, you are going there to serve, not to be served. And that when you leave, these appointments, ministerial appointments, commissioners appointments, they are tentative, transient, ephemera. They are not there ad infinitum, forever. And when you have served in government, enjoy the paraphernalia, the euphoria and razzmatazz of governance, you come back as an ordinary citizen, like my poor self here. So if it was time when manifestos were important in voting election, the manifestos of this administration have not been kept to. They don't even have manifesto. So I support the rejig of the ministers, the new ones that are coming on board to be ready to serve, to execute their broad points. Those that will not be changed, let them remember that the masses, they are not happy. Health, back with Daya.
Okay.
Education, the same. Even justice, you cannot be sure of a speedy trial. The judicial workers are always on strike. Let them harness and let the welfare of the people be the supreme law.
Okay, now Barrister Dr. Awo Saige, this administration started with a 9-point agenda. In other words, 9 priority areas, promise that this administration gave to the people: health, security, economy, and all that. Now, for some people, they may see that perhaps the presidency has not given the right leadership, the right directive, so to say, to these ministers to follow. Hence, why would the presidency want to ask the ministers to be rejigged to make sure that they double up their efforts when the right leadership, the right directive is not given?
Thank you very much. It's unfortunate that things have turned out this way. Yeah. Very, very unfortunate. It saddens my heart that in times like this, we are still cap in hand begging when we have all it takes. It's unfortunate that I honestly believe. Now, if we talk about the presidency have not given the ministers, what do you call it again?
The right directive. That's what some people say. The right leadership direction, so to say. Now.
I want to a large extent, in the person of Muhammadu Buhari, from the way he operates from time immemorial, you would know he's someone that give you the liberty to function. That you cannot wish that away. Going back from the days of his military era, Babatunde Diagbon, who happened to be the man in the forefront. President Muhammadu Buhari is not that man that wants to tie himself around everywhere. He's not that kind of person. So those are, and again, what bleeds my heart is that people like Raji Babatunde Fashola, a well-celebrated lawyer and 2 times governor of Lagos State, you know, who pride himself with so much of developmental strides in Lagos, that ordinarily should have brought all this wealth of experience to the table. We were so disappointed, and we are still disappointed. I saw my big brother, Patrick Oholo, along Benin Saple Road, crying that the road is bad. He's giving Fashola 72 hours to come and fix the road for us. So that's a very bad report on his part. And we talk about electricity is nothing to write home about. Talk about, don't just go to security. Don't go there at all, because it's part of what we are grappling with now. And we go on and on and on. We talk about finance. We are spending, I think Pastor Enoch Adeboye was saying Nigeria is, you know, how did he put it? Borrowing money. We are spending 5 months revenue to service debts. It doesn't make any sense anyway. So we are borrowing and begging that they should cancel our debts and all whatnot at the national United Nations. It doesn't really add up. It's unfortunate, and because this at times I ask myself, don't they understand basic principles of economics? Opportunity costs and things to do, and we keep talking about going away with our old cars and getting new ones. The House of Assembly that was being renovated the other time, we saw with so much money voted in, we saw heavy downpour right inside the hollow chambers. It doesn't make any sense. So it's gross misappropriation, and a maladministrative tendency have crept into all sectors of governance, and that suggests to say that this rejigging is even, I think they should all go home and go and we should be allowed to go home and think about their life, like those songs you say to people that have failed. They have failed their people. I remember when they were coming on board. That
may be your own opinion.
It might be my opinion, and I have right to it. And a whole lot of persons share this opinion with me. Like I just mentioned.
No, you can't judge for people.
I'm not saying for everybody.
No, speak for yourself.
I'm speaking for myself. I say a whole lot of other persons. You can't. It can't just be my personal opinion alone. I believe other Nigerians also share in this opinion. I'm also saying there are not persons that have a different opinion. In my opinion, they have failed, and I don't think there's any basis for assessment. There are certain levels of failure that you don't even bother to ask them. You don't even quiz them or say anything. My take is that these men should just be women that have paraded themselves as ministers or whatnot. They should just take a bow and then go home, and let's get some persons on board, new ones. Like Henry Ford, when his factory got burnt, he called his worker. He said, let's clear everything out and start afresh again. I think that is where we are at this critical time.
All right, but Adams, perhaps you may want to say that the presidency is so much aware of the situation, and for the presidency to say that the ministers should be rigid, it perhaps means that the presidency is ready to start a new pedestal at this time.
Ready to start a new leaf means that it has realized that there's a fault somewhere, that some ministries are not working according to expectation. It may not be an omnibus or blanket regime, but people voted them there, or they were appointed to perform. The majority of them have not performed, 75%. So we need the regime. When the things are evident, let's ipsa loquitur. The fact will speak for themselves. The common man will be happy to go to the hospital for treatments. Schools will go on smoothly without interruption. Security, you will sleep with your 2 eyes open, 2 eyes closed. Then we now know that there's a government. But as it is now, people are hesitating. It's laudable that the president has realized that the high-fare joining government to the people, that the ministers, some are performing below expectation. The regime should come in soonest.
All right, now, Barrister, I will say, in the words of the president, now just read out an excerpt and we respond to it. He explained that the aim of the meeting was to ascertain status of implementation across the 9 priority areas I talked about a while ago. and of course to also identify bottlenecks and prefer immediate solutions. Now, we are saying that the ministers perhaps have not performed up to expectations.
Exactly.
Now, what do you think are these bottlenecks that the ministers may have had? Let us know, so that if the president is going to bring in new ministers, they should also begin to know.
Well, I am not one of them, and I wouldn't know directly what their bottlenecks could be. But I don't know, that is English. You know, the challenge I have, I believe...
But you are reacting. You are saying that the ministers have not performed to your own expectations.
Yes,
perhaps you know the bottlenecks.
Yes.
So what are these bottlenecks?
Okay, now, they have... Monies have been voted to their various ministries, and they have not done what they were supposed to do. Hiding under complications and issues back and forth. You have a ministry to attend to, and you have not addressed it. What is bottleneck? The bottleneck there is that you were not responsible to your duties as it were due, and that's what you created your own bottleneck. Because it's not as if that office have a bottleneck in there that have hindered you from doing what you are supposed to do. You were supposed to carry a certain responsibility, you did not do it, and you are not calling it an issue. Or you are saying that where the point is that they were not diligent in their duties. They were found wanting in every aspect of their assignment. They did not live up to expectation. That is it. Their own bottleneck, probably they did not take it seriously. They sat down, they were only basking in the euphoria that I'm the minister of this and minister of that. You could flaunt yourself everywhere, and that's what they were doing. They were not really working. And that's what I want to say. They were not working. If they were working, there would have been feedback. There would have been follow-up, a day-to-day transaction. There was nothing like that. If we were to go in and ask them questions, a lot of them don't even know what their assignment is all about, other than they are in the ministry.
No, you cannot say so.
And I said a lot. I said if we were to quiz properly, I didn't say I have done that. If I'm given the privilege to go there and say, go ahead, I will go and I will bring out a lot of things from them. Just by questioning them, asking them, we don't even know, they are not connected to what the assignment is. So you cannot say you had problem. There's no problem. The president didn't trouble you. I'm good enough. The man had been challenged health-wise. You were there working as a minister where he was abroad treating himself. So will you not blame me? Yes, I know everything will rise and fall. I know. And I can see my father here laughing. He wants to say, yes, everything rise and fall on the leader. I agree with you. The leader will take responsibility. But in taking responsibility, let's have conscience. The man was sick. A sick man cannot be monitoring, taking charge. You have the vice president there who attended to things for him. But how you that is in the ministry? Let's be honest with ourselves. Will you run your company the way you are running Nigeria? They all have businesses, a good number of them. They have hotels, they have businesses all around the world, and they manage it well. Then Nigerian project, you can't manage it, and you want to blame Buhari.
Anyway, one good thing that came out from the retreat yesterday was that the president actually, instructed the secretary to the Federation to immediately commence an engagement so as to ensure that an institutionalization that's the word now, institutionalization of a central delivery coordinating unit is going to be formed. So that probably will take us back to what we had. Was it not during the time of Goodluck Jonathan or Obasanjo that we had minister of the coordinating minister? I think we actually had that.
Yes.
We actually had that. So if we're going to have a central delivery coordinating unit from henceforth, will that make the ministers start, maybe the central coordinating unit we do the work for the presidency, Barrister Adams Aliyu?
Very well. A coordinating minister will have binoculars to focus on each ministry, report to the chief executive and the government, to buckle up. It was once held in previous administration. So the coordinating ministry is a general all-purpose ministry to serve as a watchdog, as a hyphen which joins the president to the minister, as a buckle which fastens the relationship. So I very much support the appointment of a coordinating minister. And that the ministers have failed, as it were, is because it's an appointee position. And that is why it's not permanent. The minister can serve 2 months, can serve 2 years, and be set back. Just as the electorate can reject somebody not getting second term by election. So this change is welcome. appointments of coordinating ministers are very much welcome. And those coming should be reminded that they are to be there to serve their job, not to be served. That they are not just to be there to enjoy the paraphernalia of office. Meanwhile, the masses are sad. They are not happy that the ministries, health, judiciary, education are falling below expectation.
Okay, now just before we wrap up, Barrister Adams Aliyu, I remember in the first tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, when the need came for people to ask questions on what was going on for ministers to be appointed. Somebody, you know, let me know you say that the president said now, somebody was kind of trying to insinuate that perhaps the president doesn't need ministers for him to function. So let's, you know, take that to what is happening now. If we know this, do you think the president actually would have said that the ministers did not have done their job? I don't know whether you understand the question.
And if the ministers,
constitutional requirements,
yeah,
that ministerial council form the executive. If there was delay in appointing them, because there's no time limit in the constitution, but to have ministerial nominees and appointment is a sine qua non. So nobody will rule out that you will just go there as a despot, as a totalitarian government and rule alone. So there could be delay in the formation because the constitution does not specify. So the president knows he cannot work without ministers. The ministers are the eyes and ears of the executive vis-a-vis the masses that are on ground.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up, Barrister Adams Aliyu, Barrister Wosaige.
Yes.
Yeah. As we wrap up now, the ministers, incoming ministers, if we're going to have. Yeah. What's your take? What's the agenda for them?
well, they should get in and get committed to their lines of duties, not just coming in like every other. I think the problem is basically that we celebrate the office more than the work. We fail to understand that we are coming here, or we have been appointed, by whatever means that we have been chosen to serve, is to serve the people first. That should be uppermost. You have all there is to work. If you have done the needful, Nigerians will be applauding. I know there was one young minister there, Emeka Chikelu, that served for just 2 terms, and we saw how the impact he made then. You know, it just for 2 years, I mean to say. He served for 2 years. I think he was 35 years old, and it was becoming, you know, a model to everyone because of the way he was following up with his duty. So all this, I'm not saying they are not competent, don't get me wrong. Every one of them that have served, they are very, very competent. Whether the willingness to do the right thing is my worry. I encourage the incoming ones and those that are retained, have a rethink and do the right thing, because whatever you do today will be talked about tomorrow, just the way we read about our leaders of yesteryears. So whatever we are doing now, Nigerians will reflect back on it. And I encourage them to do the right thing. And I know Nigerians are smart people. We are wonderful people all over the world. We have the wherewithal to do the needful. That's my own take on this.
All right, Barrister Adams Aliyu.
Well, to end up, once there's any events, some will say some things, others will say other things. It's like a coin. People see it from 2 sides. Ali Dinkles will say something, others say other thing. But the facts are secret. Comments could be free. The ministries have performed mediocrely, and let us hope that the regime will bring the more desired necessity. We like democracy. People who are ruling there will part of all before they took the matter of leadership. And so with this force being externalized and made open, the new ones will tighten their belts and perform more than the outgoing ones, as it were.
All right, that's the discussion segment today on the program this morning on ITV. A very big thank you to panelists here, Barrister Aliyu and also Dr. Barrister Patrick Wosaige. A very big thank you for finding time to
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us here.
Okay. All right, so the program is still on now this morning on ITV. Please stay tuned.